And for more on the vote on Secretary Mayorkas and it being delayed until next week, let's bring in Republican Congressman from Texas and member of the Judiciary Committee, Lance Gooden. Congressman, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Good afternoon.
So let's talk about, we'll start with Mayorkas here. Next week, you're going to walk the articles of impeachment over to the Senate. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, I think the Democrats are going to try to dismiss and avoid a trial altogether, but that's one of the reasons we are delaying this vote, as Senate Republicans have asked us to. The margins are so thin in the Senate as well. They want to make sure that every Republican is present. I know there's always an illness or some kind of crisis that keeps one or two members away. They want to make sure they're all there. And also Democrats, I think, have had some attendance problems on their side. So we're making sure that all the boxes are checked and that we've got a few extra days for the senators on our side to prepare. We also don't want to give Democrats the opportunity to just punt this away and be done with it tomorrow. And so we're going to work through the weekend and make sure we're in a good spot on Monday, I believe, is the current plan as I speak to you now.
Congressman, obviously you are from Texas, so you and your constituents know firsthand how dangerous and how increasingly terrible the border is. And I know that you are one of 6 House GOP lawmakers who are going after Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, specifically about his prepaid gift card program to migrants. Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is just one of the many things we've seen over the years. This is the latest and maybe one of the worst. But what we're doing when we don't speak up is we're saying it's okay for these mayors or these non-government organizations on the border to continue to pass out gift cards and payments to migrants who then get on social media and spread the word to the rest of the world that our borders are open, that if they get here, they'll be taken care of, they'll be encouraged, they'll be subsidized, they'll be flown to wherever they want to go. That's the message that New York is sending. And I'll remind you, just a few years ago, Eric Adams and all of our friends in New York were telling us how terrible we were in Texas for passing sanctuary city bans. And now that they've proudly embraced the sanctuary city title, they can't handle it. And so New Yorkers are fed up. They're losing their way of life that they once had, where crime wasn't what it is today. Their tax dollars are being spent on illegals. It's really grown out of control in New York, and that's just a small piece of it. In Texas, it's totally crazy. Along our southern border, we're continuing to see the influx of migrants, and Americans are fed up.
Yeah, I was just going to say quickly, Barbara, I was just going to say, Congressman, everything you're saying is correct. I've been a New Yorker for well over 20 years. I've never seen anything like this. So what you are saying is absolutely true.
Yeah, and I know a lot of Americans feel like Joe Biden has done more for illegal immigrants coming into the country than for Americans, tax-paying citizens themselves.
I know you were going to say something, Congressman.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's bad when Democrats in New York are fed up. I mean, I'm hearing from Democrats in New York who don't like what they're seeing. They may be socially, liberally minded folks, but they want to be safe when they walk on the street, and that's not what they've got in New York thanks to this policy.
Congressman, you just tweeted this out about an hour and a half ago. I'm going to read this back so our audience can hear. President Donald Trump gave the average American household $2,000 in a tax cut. Joe Biden gave the average American household $11,400 plus in an inflation bill, you call it here. Your thoughts on the economy? Let's switch some gears.
Yeah, we saw new inflation numbers come out today. It is not good for the president. He's been talking about all these improvements and how we're turning the corner. We're not seeing that. American families are continuing to suffer under President Trump. Not only were they safer because the border was secure, but they had more money in their bank accounts, and Americans are struggling. They're cutting back on grocery items that are now becoming luxury items. Groceries should never be luxuries for American citizens, and that's what we have today. And that's what I meant by that tweet. Or X, whatever we call it now. My point is, Americans under Joe Biden are suffering. Americans under Joe Biden, I believe, are fed up and are going to speak very loudly come November.
They certainly are. Congressman Lance Gooden from Texas. Sir, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you.